One of my favorite games growing up was Super Smash Bros. Brawl. My go-to character, like any other 8-year-old, was Link. But I often found myself playing two other characters, Ness and Lucas. I had never seen these guys before, but something made me gravitate towards them. I got curious and searched online to learn more about them, only to find a community of thousands of people who would experience the same thing. And ever since then, the Mother series has been one of my favorites. Mother 3 is the final game, and it's the only one that never released outside of Japan. Out of nowhere, it was added to Nintendo Switch Online, and of course, it was exclusive to Japan. But by being sneaky, you could change your Nintendo account's region and play it anywhere in the world. This is the easiest it's ever been to play this game. So I decided there's no better way to celebrate than 100%ing it. That includes completing the battle memory, finding all trivia cards, getting every memento, opening all gifts, and getting every ultimate weapon. Oh, and I should mention, the game's completely in Japanese. I don't think I need to say this. I don't speak Japanese. We'll see how far the Duolingo streak gets me. Before the game starts, I have to name the characters. Since it's in Japanese, I could have named them their traditional names, but instead, I did the most American thing possible and named them their English names. There's Lucas, Klaus, Clint, Hanawa, and Bodhi the dog. With this picture-perfect family together, I welcome you to the world of Mother 3. It's a beautiful day. The sun's shining, the grass is green, there's the pigs, the cow, a frog, our friendly neighborhood dinosaurs. Mom's made our favorite food for breakfast, we're visiting Grandpa Alec, and we'll head home soon. Nothing bad ever happens on the Nowhere Islands. Life here is perfect. Wait, what? Holy shit! The forest is on fire! Wake up the town! We have to help everyone escape. But, real quick, the Yin Yang Dragon deities are curious about what my YouTube channel's called. There's some shady looking pigs releasing weird creatures into the forest, and we try to help the villagers escape, but we get swarmed. Battles in this game are turn-based, and characters will move first based off their speed. When you take damage, your health meter will roll down in real time. If you take mortal damage, you have until your health falls to 0 to heal. This small change makes the combat way more dynamic than your typical RPG. Split breaks through an entire support beam to save a kid just before the house collapses. Oh man, we got covered in soup. Well, that's okay. We can go into the hot spring and wash ourselves off. Oh no. Oh, that made it worse. It started raining, putting the fire out, and things were gonna be okay. But Hanawa and the kids were supposed to come home today, and they still haven't made it back. Everyone in the town goes looking for them. Now, this game is heavily story-based. If I wanted to cover the entire story, this video would be way too long. If you're watching this video, you've probably played this game before. But if you haven't, I won't spoil any major story beats from here. The reconstructed caribou is our first boss. It goes berserk, dealing heavy damage to everyone. I was severely underprepared for this fight, and I just barely made it out. Whoa! I get my head bashed in and get thrown in jail. After very casually breaking out, I have some things I need to do to 100% the game. Since the game's told in chapters, only certain enemies appear at certain times. Most of the enemies in Chapter 1 are gone after it ends. You have to fight every enemy at least once for completion. There's 2 rare enemies appearing in the forest, the first being a suit dumpling. It's extremely weak with a high defense, and the next one is even rarer, taking me 16 minutes to find. Yes! The Beanling is a strong enemy who has the chance of running away in battle, and if beaten, it rewards a huge amount of XP, easily earning you multiple levels. The forest has gotten a lot more aggressive, and everything from slugs to bushes to rocks want to throw hands. Even the boars charge right at you. Just don't look at them from behind. Bro's got a butthole. Crossing a river over a bridge of frogs, there's the strongest enemies in the whole chapter, including scorpions, balding eagles, and exploding trees that deal fatal damage every time. I followed the trail of a baby Drago, which probably wasn't the smartest move, and we end up in the toughest fight yet. After stabbing through its hide, you could deal damage normally, and I'm proud of how I did in this fight. Since I can't read the language, I had to learn different ways to navigate my items. I learned this symbol, Ma, which appeared on most bomb items. And after using all my bombs, I just tried to keep my health up while hitting him with normal blows. It didn't take much more to bring him down. Oh! And just like that, chapter 1's over. In Chapter 2, our perspective shifts over to Duster, and something that I really appreciate about this game is that it builds up the world and it gives time for more than just its main character to shine. We have to infiltrate Oso Castle to find an egg, and the only way to get there is through a secret tunnel. I make my way in, and there's some cracks here on the floor. Maybe if I knock this ball over... Whoops. Oh, but hey, look at that, it's open now. The castle's haunted. There's spiders crawling all over, paintings flying off the walls, and armor coming to life. Everything here wants to kill you. Wait, this guy doesn't. Hold up, is he playing piano? Hey, this is my kind of party. Fresh wine, all you could eat food. What more could a guy want? In the kitchen, we find the most important item for 100% completion, the battle memory. This book tells us every enemy we've seen so far, and if we have both of their poses. You may have noticed enemies have both front and back sprites. We have to fight every enemy and all their unique poses to 100% the game. I double checked and had everything I could up to this point. And what a perfect time to introduce this, since Duster's the most important character for every pose. In battle, he could use certain items that will mess with his enemies, one of which being the Siren Beetle. It causes enemies to turn around, being the most consistent way to get back sprites. We keep exploring different rooms, eventually finding Mr. Passion. I had to use real strategy for this, using Duster's other items to lower defense and offense multiple times. It makes the battle go from overly hard to underwhelmingly easy. After killing Beethoven's ghost, I managed to find the egg. Oh man, I can't wait to show Wes. He's gonna be so proud. Here you go. What? Apparently it was a fake, so we have to go through the entire castle section again. Eventually we find a girl caught in a trap, and since her full name didn't fit in the Japanese version, we're just gonna call her Kuma. She's our first PSI user, using PP for elemental type attacks. But right now she only has fire and freeze. But later on in the game, she'll become one of our strongest team members. After having ourselves an Indiana Jones moment, we fall right into the next boss fight, the Oso Snake. Since I can't read Japanese, it takes a long time for me to decide what to do each turn. At this point, I'm getting a little more familiar with everything but I could still be a lot faster. By the end of this battle, I was completely out of items and PP. Yes! Oh dude, I was so screwed. After being flushed away, Duster disappears, along with the egg. This is Salsa, a monkey who has been captured and forced into serving the army. If we don't follow orders, we get shocked. If we look sad, we get shocked. Pretty much anything is gonna get us shocked. Salsa in battle is incredibly weak, and it's actually Facade who does the most damage. We just don't control him. After he stole my banana, we fought the Cactus Wolf, and since Salsa is so weak, this boss fight is pretty challenging. Something I haven't mentioned is that when you're attacking, if you press A in time with the beat of the music, you can actually do up to a 16-hit combo. Oh, I was so close. Woo! We made our way to Tasmilly and stayed the night in the Otto Inn. Now for the reason we came here. We get to put on a show. We feed the villagers propaganda, and after they buy into it, we have to deliver it to them via monkey mail. I deliver all the boxes and get shocked even though I did my job. Kuma, being the boss she is, frees Salsa, and we escape into the forest. only to get barricaded into the next boss. The tank fight's kinda hard, but since this is the last time we'll use Salsa, I used everything I could. Strong PSI, healing items, bombs, and eventually I brought it down. But even after defeating the tank, we're still surrounded. What are we gonna do? Lucas? Oh, he's got a friend. Oh. And now that Lucas just walked back into the story, he's our new main character for the rest of the game. After 3 years, Tazmily completely changed. They did the worst thing possible and introduced the town to economics. You don't have to pay for items, and villagers commute daily to work. After hearing a rumor that someone spotted Duster at the local club, we tell Wes, who asks us to go check it out. But before I continue the story, there's some things I need to do. To start, I'll grab my first trivia card, and I'll go over those when I could actually use them. Next, I wanted to go to the forest to work on the battle memory. All the enemies that used to be here have changed over the last 3 years. The mice are flying, the snakes have chicken heads, and the yams have arms for some reason. But most importantly, the beanling got an upgrade. And it took me about 20 minutes to find this guy. And I had no idea, but I was severely underleveled for this. Boney died and Lucas barely survived. Ooh! And 16,000 XP went straight to Lucas. He was level 14 before this, and now he's level 25, 10 higher than Boney. I found 2 more beanlings and got to level 32 and 29. Now that I'm overpowered, I can go find Duster. Wait, is that Mr. T?
How you ever gonna make it on the outside world if you keep making the food out yourself?
I made my way to the club and got PSI powers along the way. Wow. Yeah, I'm definitely overleveled. This brought a whole new realm of difficulty. Since I have a lot of different moves, I'm gonna have a tough time knowing which move I'm actually using in battle. Finally, on the other side of the tracks, I arrived at the factory. No joke, this place is just named the factory. I walk in and they put me straight to work. I'm a child and I've been sent to the mines. I do my task and get paid $200 and 2 tickets to Club Titty Boo. We try to get in, but they don't allow pets. But what if Boney pulled a Scooby-Doo? Somehow, this works, and we get inside. Finding out pretty quick that Kuma's working here. We get to enjoy a concert, and afterwards, we make our way to Duster's room. Now, typically, this area is one of the hardest in the game. Your party's small, and the enemies here are pretty difficult based on the level you should be. But since I had fought so many beanlings, it was way too easy. At the end, Duster's old base is guarding the exit, and it's so mad it's been replaced, it came to life and wants to fight us. I had a heyday with this boss. Usually I would struggle on this one, but I used all my bombs and Lucas's strongest move over and over, beating it in only 5 moves. Kuma gathered the band up, and after beating everyone in rock, paper, scissors, Duster decides to come with us. The crew says their goodbyes, and Duster joins us. Right outside, Kuma joins us too, and now we're a full group of 4. Come on, guys, let's get out of here. Now, we could continue the story, or now that we're a full party, there's so much that we could do. First, I went back to the forest and got all the back sprites I hadn't seen yet, and I also fought a couple of beanlings so that way the rest of the crew was leveled up. Next, if you track through Oso Castle again, there's now an upgraded version of Mr. Passion. This is a completely optional boss battle, and it's pretty hard because of the insane amount of HP it has. Almost triple what the Jealous Base had. You get one of Duster's best weapons from the fight. Completely worth the trouble. And before we move on, I spent 10 minutes looking for another rare enemy, the top dogfish. And after all that, I'm caught up. The chimeras are getting a lot weirder and more horrifying. After some searching, we find the exact spot that Duster left the egg. It's there. He just needs to take it out. Shit! He gets thrown in a dump truck and driven off. But thankfully, a pigmess lends us his car. Well, that was embarrassing. We're on the highway now, and this place is huge. There's so many new enemies here, and a side quest too. A mother mouse lost her babies along the highway, and they're scattered all over the place. There are 7 in total, and they're pretty easy to spot. I didn't even Google the location. I just ran around until I found them all. After you find the last one, go and talk to the mom again, and she'll give you a kiss on the cheek and a silly hand. I know that doesn't sound good. I promise it was worth it. There's yet another rare enemy on the highway, and I spent 30 minutes doing resets to find it. Oh, no! No! Are you fucking kidding me? And now, with all that out of the way, we found the dump site, defeated a garbage monster, and finally got the egg. Getting caught dumpster diving, we're given a personal escort who pulls off the cleanest drift. The army just let us into their base. There's a couple new enemies here, but they're very weak. Blocking the way is the fierce pork trooper, and after a fairly tough fight, Facade catches us. The second trivia card's here, and now we're getting closer to the top. I'm not sure what a playroom is doing in an army base, but there's a floating frog and a hot tub, so I won't think about it too hard. Before we make it outside, the generator for the tower itself wants to fight us. This is by far the hardest fight up to this point. Even with the shield, it deals a lot of damage. And it also has attacks that could easily wipe out your whole team. It powered down, and I managed to get enough damage in to take it out. We gotta go. But we're at the top. There's nowhere left to go. He eats a victory banana and makes a call to get picked up. Is he just gonna leave that banana there? That's really dangerous. I mean, someone could slip and fall. Oh, he's dead. Well, there's only one way out of here. This seems safe. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Chapter 7's by far the longest, with a lot of focus put onto the story. It'd take way too long for me to cover the whole thing, so just know that there are 7 gypsies protecting 7 needles, and if all the needles get pulled, a dragon destroys the world. Someone pulls the first one, and we rush to see who it is, but we're too late. They're gone. Now we have to go find the rest of the needles before someone else pulls them. Arriving at the Chimera lab, we try to blend in and make our way through the facility. Salsa's here, but he doesn't recognize us. It's not until we have him cornered that we can... Oh shit. Just in time, Salsa saves us, and he takes us to where he's been hiding out this whole time. He's been with Doria, who's guarding the second needle. Oh, also Kuma's here. The needle's under the pond, and after multiple attempts to get the water out, we finally get to pull our first needle. Something I glossed over the first time is that every time you pull a needle, a Magypsy disappears, but we also get a special item from them. Doria gives us their memento and then vanishes. Kuma joins us, and right outside we find the deadbeat dad of those mouse kids that were left on the highway. Immediately after that fight, a mole cricket takes us into the underground dungeon. In order to pass, we have to prove our worth in battle. We're worthy to pass through, but I still have to navigate my way through here. There's a simple solution to this, but I just forgot it, and I spent way too much time in here. Finally at the exit, we made it to Snowcap Mountain. The classic winter's music's playing here. One of the few songs to appear in every Mother game. But we don't hear it for long. This area is way too short. I did get to jam out for a little bit since there's another rare spawn here. Lydia's here and their needle's just outside. But we're too late, the masked man already pulled it. But we won't be fighting him. This fight is definitely a struggle. The Mecha Gorilla throws out these huge hits, and it came down to the very end. Whew! I get Lydia's memento and then we move on. There's only one rational route off this mountain. Climb to the top, get in a fridge, slide down the mountain, and fly into the air until we crash. There's a trail of bottles here leading us to a table with legs. What is happening right now? Did I take mushrooms? Following an extremely long route, we made it to the best place in the game. Saturn Valley's being held hostage, and we go house to house freeing them. And for the second time this game, we find Duster. Now with a full party, we're actually able to explore the city. It's full of Mr. Saturns, who I'm sure you know from Smash. They're just goofy guys. I love them. We recruit a group of them to help build a ladder, but they're not too good at stacking, so we're stuck here now. We tell the rocket's awesome, and it moves out of the way, opening up the path to a volcano dungeon. After finding the needle, Facade flies in with his new look. He puts up a good fight, but it doesn't take too much to beat him. Pulling our second needle, we make it back to see that the Mr. Saturns have built a ladder. How do they do that? Pigmen blow up our only way out, so we have to use a rope snake to hang onto the bird cage and fly out of here. You already know how this joke ends. We washed ashore, and now that we're a full group back in Tazmily, we have a little bit of catching up to do for the battle memory. There's the Bro Team, Horse Antula, Pigmask Captain, Security Robot, Zombie Dillo, and the Nice Poser. Caught up to where I needed to be, I went back to the beach and went for a swim. This area is not fun. Traveling underwater is slow, and you constantly have to regain your breath. I don't even know what to say about that. We're getting pretty close to the end game now, so we're starting to find the best equipment for our party. Kuma's ultimate accessory is here, and so is Lucas's ultimate headpiece. Oh, and also the third trivia card's here. Finally done with this section, we get sucked into the boss. Master Eddie's pretty unique, since he's the only boss we don't actually defeat. After a certain amount of damage, he sends out an attack that knocks all of us out of the water. Somehow we're alive, but I only have 1 HP and our items got lost at sea. I need something to survive. What about this mushroom? Ugh! Censor that! I can't show that on YouTube. Here, let's try these ones instead. Ugh. These taste weird. They taste kinda funny. Oh no. Oh no, I'm really on mushrooms. A walrus? Oh, he gave me rainbow gloves. Oh, a hot spring. I don't know why Boney doesn't want to join, but it's just more for us. Mixolydia beats some sense into us, and we snap back to reality. Thank you. I needed that. Their needle's just up on the hill, but it's guarded by the barrier trio. This is genuinely one of the hardest fights in the game. It was made even harder by being in Japanese. The trio's weakness changes based on which one of them calls out to strike a pose. Since I can't read what they're saying, I have no idea what they're weak to. It's just a guessing game for me. And I got so close to beating them, but everyone died right before the end. Shit. I tried again, and this time with a different strategy, and it went way smoother. I beat the trio, but I wasn't fast enough to pull the needle. We get another memento, and now we have to go back through where our mushroom trip happened. We see that the hot spring we were in was actually a swamp. But there is a real hot spring here, and it came with an old man in it. If you've played this game, you may know that this old man has a 1 in 10 chance of showing up in any hot spring. But what you may not know is that there's another NPC that can appear. There's a 1 in 200 chance that a lady shows up. And I did 194 resets until it happened. We take a taxi back to the mainland and head north into the cave. Kuma's ultimate body armor is here, and so is Lucas's ultimate weapon. Just like the rainbow gloves from earlier, there's enemies that drop these items. They typically have a 3% drop rate, which is low, but it could be worse. We arrive at Chupi Chupioi Temple and find the pigmen struggling to get inside. We fight off the Colonel, and now only he can stop us. He couldn't win, so he flew off. And just like that, we pull our third needle. We get another memento, and then out of nowhere, a limousine pulls up and gives us a personal escort into New Pork City. This place is crazy! I mean, there's a stage, a pool table, comfy chairs, a hot tub. Gambling! Call off the adventure. I'm staying here. Out the window, we get a glimpse of the big city. We finally made it. This is it. New Pork City. There's carnivals, fast food, arcades, movie theaters showing the never-released Earthbound movie. Everything you could ever want here. Pony chased a bug through a hole in the wall, and so we have to dive into the sewers to rescue him. Following his trail into a rundown apartment building, where we find none other than the designated tall person of Tazmily, Letter. This is one of my favorite parts of the game, where we just learn the secrets of the world. I won't dive too much into the details here, but if you played this game before, you know how deep the lore gets. Letter commands Lucas to pull the needle, and filled with a new determination, we set out to do just that. Facade tries to get in our way, but he's easily cast aside, defeated for the final time. There's an optional boss here in New Pork City, but you need to buy a specific item to beat it. If you stared on this statue, it eventually moves and attacks you. You can throw every strong attack you have, but you'll never do enough damage. That bomb we bought takes its HP down to 1. It had 99 million before. It'd be impossible to beat without it. And for beating that boss, you get your 4th trivia card. And now that I have all 4, I'll finally talk about these. If we go into the battle memory, we could fight a couple different ranks of pigmen. If we use the trivia card on them, we could ask them a question, and then they could answer the question. And that's it. And the worst part is, they don't even tell you what the question is. I'll just put the answers up on screen. So, yeah. The reason I didn't talk about these much is because there's nothing special to say about them. Anyways, the only place left is Nuke Pork Tower. We got to meet up with Duster's band for them to put on one final show. The plug gets pulled, and Porky calls us out to come to the 100th floor. Taking the elevator up, we arrive, and it's strange. There's only hippos here. I would have thought it'd be different. Both Duster's ultimate weapon and armor are on this floor. Once we get far enough, Porky tells us he lied, and the true 100th floor is waiting for us at the top of the elevator. At the top, it's just a room dedicated to pleasuring Porky. This isn't the real 100th floor, but maybe the next one will be. Oh yeah, I'm sure the floor with all the toilets is the real 100th floor. There's so many bathrooms. Some with pigmen, some with gifts, there's evil signs, toilets for giants, even all the ghosts from Moso Castle. Boney's ultimate collar is also hidden here, and so is, whoa! Sneaking past the Chimera gets you Lucas's awesome ring. We find the golden toilet, and Porky announces that once again, this wasn't the real 100th floor. At the next stop, the last Gypsy's home here, but Locria isn't here. They've left behind their memento and dozens of bananas. Now we're going to the real 100th floor. Nope, sorry, this one's under construction. Get the goddess ribbon for Kuma and Boney and take the next elevator up. We're almost there, and the enemies are starting to get super strong. The last 2 ultimate items are on this floor, Duster's bandana and Lucas's awesome cloak. But I wasn't done grinding yet. There's only boss fights after this point, so this is my last chance to get consistent XP. I spent the next 3.5 hours grinding the same 2 enemies over and over to get to level 99. This time, we take the stairs, and there's one last challenge for us. The Natural Killer Cyborg's the strongest enemy in the game. It has an array of attacks, like throwing bombs, inflicting statuses, using PSI, and it'd be really easy to use your strongest attacks here. But if you do too much damage early on, you'll miss his second pose. Once he's done that, wail on him until he breaks down. This is it, the real 100th floor. Porky greets us and asks if we want to be friends with him. No. Now we have a fairly tough fight with the Porky bots. Every time we kill one, it'll explode, damaging everyone in the party. By the time you get to the last one, more keep coming. And they keep coming. No matter what, more and more drop down. And just when all seems hopeless... Oh shit! Jester's old band's here, and they wiped the floor with the robots. They saved us, and they brought Flint, Wes, Alec, and everyone else who ever rebelled against Porky. That's when it's time for him to finally reveal himself. Porky, who, if you don't know, came from Earthbound and used to look like this, now looks centuries old, his body being warped from traveling through time and space. An alert goes off, and they had just located the 7th needle. The masked man's on his way there, and for the sake of Porky's amusement, he gives us a chance to stop him. Using everything I had, I ended up taking down his suit, but he quickly escaped into the absolutely safe capsule. No matter what you throw at it, it doesn't take damage. The battle ends here, not because we won, but because there was nothing we could do. And with an unsatisfying conclusion to that battle, that's it. Porky was the last entry into the battle memory, and now it's fully completed, back sprites and all. I also ended up keeping every memento, I have all the trivia cards, and I'm level 99 with the best items. I did everything in this game that I could think of. I even had an entire spreadsheet with every single enemy to make sure I didn't make mistakes. I did it all in a language I don't understand just because it's legally the only way I'm able to play this game. There's a part of me that believes we'll never get an official translation, and that's why I want to give a shout out to the fan translation, because without it, there'd be no way to experience a story as unique as this one. I could try my best, but by the end of the day, through this video, I'm not going to be able to convey the emotions this game makes you feel. It'd be impossible. I mean, the variety this game has, the humor, the action, depression, it's filled with mystery and lore. It'd be a tall task for anyone. If you watched this far into the video and you haven't played this game, I urge you, just try it out. But if you don't, I understand. I mean, I did literally spoil most of the game for you already. Anyways, there's only one thing left to do.